So I want to talk to you guys about how do you maintain attraction with your wife? Because the boyfriend girlfriend stage is a lot different than marriage. And I've been married for over 4 years. It has been a fantastic experience. Has it always been easy? No, but I don't regret it one bit. We're having our first child in April. I'm looking forward to being a dad. I get excited as I think about that every single week as we get closer to our first child. But with all that being said, there's a lot of negatives that are being talked about in marriage. You see influencers out there who talk about, sleep with any women you want, no consequences, and you shouldn't commit to women because it might backfire on you. Now, I don't subscribe to the idea of, not being committed because I think if you want a healthy relationship with anybody in life, you should have some type of commitment. Just like a job, you're committed to your craft and getting better. And I think relationships work the same way. Now, when it comes to the attraction part, it's your job as a man, and I've learned this myself, is to take accountability for your actions because when you're married, all your flaws will be exposed. And if there's times where you're going to fail, because you will mess up, and I've messed up myself, you have to learn to take responsibility for those things when your wife holds you accountable. And that can be a difficult thing to overcome because your wife is checking you. You might get defensive. You might feel like she's crowding your space, but in reality, she's just trying to help you level up. And that's not a bad thing. If you want to maintain attraction with your wife, the first thing you got to learn is take accountability for all your actions. Make sure you're the leader. Make sure you're showing her by example of what you're pursuing. Because if she sees you going after your goals and ambitions, that's going to be very attractive in her eyes. If she sees you managing the finances, handling your business, that's going to help raise the attraction. If you're sitting around complaining and whining all day, blaming your wife for your circumstances, that's not attractive. The second thing you want to do to maintain attraction is don't forget about your own independence. Look, obviously, you're going to support each other in marriage. You're going to build each other up and make sure that you have a healthy relationship. Outside of that, make sure you work on your own passions and goals. Look, you shouldn't just neglect the things you care about just because you're in a relationship. Make sure you're still hanging out with your friends and family. Make sure you still pursue your hobbies and the things you care about. Because in a marriage, obviously, things are different because you're living with each other and you got to manage your time even better because there's times where she's at work, you're not at work, and you should be working on things you care about. There's other times where you have things scheduled out for each other. And during those times, it's important. But don't forget about the things you care about. Because if you neglect things, you're going to be unhappy with yourself. And then you're going to start venting towards your wife when it's not her fault. You just got to manage your time better. So make sure you don't forget about your own sense of independence because that's important to maintain even in a marriage. And the reason why I bring that up because I remember I had some controlling issues early in our marriage, and part of that was my own fault. I didn't really have a lot of ambitions. Yes, I was working on my insurance license at the time. I got that done, and then a year later, I started working on YouTube content, and I enjoyed doing this outside of my relationship. And the reason why I say it's important to have something you care about because you are pursuing something you like. You are staying busy when she's busy. And when you guys come together, you have a lot to talk about and share. And the last thing you want to do to maintain attraction with your wife is not be a complainer or act like a victim. Look, I remember when my wife was in the hospital and it was really rough. She was there for 30 days. Actually, she was in the hospital twice. And the second time, she was in there for a long time and needed my presence. So what I did was stay at the hospital every single night for all those nights she was there. And it was easier for her to sleep as well. And I could have been a big complainer. I could have acted like a victim. But at the end of the day, I had to take some responsibility here. I had to step up and make sure that, hey, I've got your back. I'm going to support you through this season of your life. She had to take off school for a semester. That wasn't easy, but she needed me there. And that's not a bad thing. Listen, like people talk about marriage like it's a negative thing for a man that they don't have advantages here. Let me tell you right now, marriage is one of the best things you can do as a man. I don't care what all the influencers say out there. They're wrong, in my opinion, because you're making a commitment here. You're making vows at an altar and you have to stick to those vows, even when life is hard. It's easy to be a victim. It's easy to complain about things. It's easy to blame women for our circumstances, but the reality is we have to be a man. You can be a masculine man and still have a great relationship with your wife. That is a fact, and I'm a witness of that. So no matter what you hear on social media from these guru men who say that, hey, you shouldn't be committed to a woman, you should have multiple relationships, that's bad advice to me. And if you follow this blueprint by holding yourself accountable, by making sure that you still have your independence, and also you're not a victim or a big complainer, she's going to stick around. She's going to stay by your side, and you won't regret it one bit. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how you're trying to improve your marriage. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.